So, good afternoon to one and all. This is Dr. Pranay Dute, and today in this video, in this lecture, we are going to see about the fundamental concept of geochemistry as well as the sedimentology. So, in this, this is also we can have a title of your paper, Geochemistry and Sedimentology. Why the geochemistry and sedimentology is put together? Why the geochemistry and sedimentology get put together? Because the most of the sedimentary rocks are mostly having the, you can have a core and all this. Okay, that is a part of the sedimentology. You have coring, drilling, and whatever that you can dig out from the your earth, that all are the sediments. That all are the sediments, and that sediment is have to undergo the geochemistry of the, I mean, geochemical analysis of this one. So you have a fundamental of geochemistry and sedimentology. So what is the geochemistry is all about? Geochemistry is already we say that what is the geochemistry? Geo means earth. You all know what is mean by geo. Geo means nothing but geo means earth. Geo means earth, and what the geochemistry means? Earth chemistry. Geo means earth, chemistry, you know that what it means by chemistry. So geochemistry is about the chemistry of the earth. Not only earth, it's related other planets also. So the field of geochemistry involve what? The study of chemical composition of the earth, the study of the chemical composition of the earth and other planet, the chemical process of and reaction that govern the composition of rock, water and soil. So the study of this one involve the chemical composition of the earth and other planet, the chemical process and reaction that govern the composition of rock, water and soil, the cycle of matter and energy that transport the earth chemical component in water and space, and their interaction with the hydrosphere and atmosphere. So this is a component which is involved in a geochemical study or whatever when we are studying the geochemistry. The geochemistry involve what? The study of the chemical composition of the earth and other planet, the chemical processes. Okay, so whenever you have a product, you should have what? You should have some processes which is operating before this one. You should have a processes which is operating before this one. So the chemical processes, and reactions that govern the composition of rock, water and soil, the cycle of matter, and energy that transport the earth chemical component in a time and space, and their interaction with the hydrosphere and atmosphere. This is what you can have about the geochemistry, what you study in the geochemistry. So now we see the introduction to of geochemistry. So some subset of geochemistry are the isotope geochemistry is about the determination of the relative and absolute concentration of the element and their isotope in the earth and on earth surface. So isotope geochemistry, when we are talking about the isotope geochemistry is a determination of the relative and absolute concentration of the element. Isotope geochemistry is determination of the relative and absolute concentration of the element and their isotope in the earth and on the earth surface. So stable isotope, we have unstable isotope. So this isotope is more useful of that element. So whatever the things are being on earth, whatever rock, fossil, material, that all have some certain age. Like Dipanshu is having some other age, Rahul is having other age, Kritika is having other age and all. Likewise, you have a different ages for the different rocks. And now how we can come to know about the ages of the Kritika, Dipanshu, Saeed and all? We have birth certificate for them. But for the rock, do you have any birth certificate for the rock? No, you don't have any birth certificate. So what is the birth certificate for the rocks? You have to undergo the some what we can say, the you have to undergo some radioactive whatever radiocarbon dating or whatever the dating method you have applied. So you have to go with the dating method, some of the dating method which you have to apply for this one. So examination and of the distribution and movement of the element, examination of the distribution and the movement of the element in different part of the earth and in mineral with the goal to determine the underlying system of the distribution and movement. So the examination of the distribution of movement of the element in different part of the earth and in mineral with the goal to determine the underlying system of the distribution and movement. Then you have cosmochemistry, you have isotope chemistry. The geochemistry, this is a subset of geochemistry. The geochemistry is about the study of all the so your geochemistry is about the all study of all the materials. So now you have some subset of geochemistry also. So first one is we already discussed about the isotope geochemistry. Second one is a cosmochemistry. What is the cosmochemistry? Cosmochemistry is an analysis of distribution. Cosmochemistry is an analysis of distribution of element and their isotope in the cosmos. Isotope in the cosmos. Then you have biogeochemistry. The biogeochemistry is the field of study focusing on the effect of life on the chemistry of Earth. Biogeochemistry is the study of effect of life on the chemistry of the Earth. Then you have organic geochemistry, organic, inorganic. This is a different kind of chemistry we have. So organic geochemistry is a study of role of the processes. Biogeochemistry is a field of study, and organic geochemistry is a study of role, that is process and compound that are derived from the living or once living organism. Then you have water geochemistry. So what is the water geochemistry? Water geochemistry is a understanding the role of various elements in watersheds. Role of the different role of the various element in the this one is known as a water geochemistry. Then you have a regional environment and exploration geochemistry. So what is the regional experimental exploration and environmental geochemistry? So application to environment, hydrological and mineral exploration study, which is basically we all are study in the different papers. So this all are comes under the geochemistry also. So as already we discussed that what is the geo and what is the earth. What is the geo and what is the earth. So the understanding of the principle governing the distribution and redistribution of the element, ionic species and isotope ratio, the ionic species and isotope ratio in a earth material, so that we can interpret the formation of mineral assemblage. So pressure temperature condition is also there. Pressure and temperature, the both things can be control the what the geochemistry of the area. Then you also have to project play in an important role in forecasting the quality of crude oil in the accumulation. So the geochemistry is also a very good a major role in a crude oil and this petroleum industry. Then the earth chemistry. The bulk of the earth is made up from the iron, oxygen, and magnesium, silicon. So the bulk of the earth oxygen is formed. The bulk of the earth oxygen is formed in the more than 80 chemical element occur naturally in the earth and its atmosphere. So you have a bulk composition of earth is iron, oxygen, and magnesium and silicon. So iron is more because of the they have in their deposits and all, and more than 80 chemical more than chemical 80 chemical element are naturally in our earth and its atmosphere. So mostly what the earth we are dividing, mostly we are dividing earth in three different part: crust, mantle, and core. Crust, mantle, and core, this is the three different unit we are deposited in between. The earth crust is a thin layer of the rock. The earth crust is a thin layer of the rock, uh, which is a float on the mantle. Which is float on the mantle. The crust is made mostly from oxygen and silicon. The crust, the crust made mostly by the silicon and oxygen. That is what your crust is made up of. Then with alumina, iron, calcium, magnesium, sodium, potassium, titanium, and traces of 64 other elements is also there. The upper portion of the this metal is iron and magnesium mostly. The core is mostly iron with the title the upper metal is the core is mostly iron with little nickel, and so the core is mostly iron and with nickel and traces of alumina, carbon, and silicon. This is a typical rock cycle we have. So you can start for this cycle from anywhere. So you know that the metamorphic rock is get converted to the sedimentary rock. Sedimentary rock get converted to the sediment, loose sediment. That loose sediment is get converted to the this one. So this is a cycle which continuously moving. So you may ask about what is the geological rock cycle? What is the geological time scale? This question is very much of common in examiners like civil services and this state one also. So this is how you have a rock cycle in it. Then if you have seen the cumulative percentage of all the metals, when you have seen the cumulative percentage of all the metals, that will show the a percentage of oxygen is the highest one after the iron. Then you have magnesium, silicon, nickel, sulfur, calcium, aquamarine, and others. So this is a percentage wise data for the all the region which having an active cases. So this is what you have in this. So now how we can come to know about this all the seismic wave and all. How we come to know about this one? So the crust and upper mantle, the upper the, the the earth interior is having a lithosphere, astrosphere, and mesosphere. So lithosphere is the study of lithosphere is the upper rigid layer of the earth. It consists of crust. It consists of crust and top of the mantle and is about the 100 kilometer. So astrosphere, lithosphere, you know that lithosphere only can go up to the 100 and 120 kilometer, but your lithosphere is always up floating on a astrosphere. So what is the astrosphere? Is a semi-solid material below the lithosphere in the mental hearts of body animal. Astrosphere is there. The boundary condition, in between the lithosphere and the astrosphere occur at a point where temperature climb above the 39 degrees Celsius. Then you have the mesosphere, which is the solid part, which is having a solid part. So this all the study is very much important. So next, beneath the mantle core of hot and iron nickel, the outer core is so hot. and your what we can say, the core of the this core is the hot and iron and nickel. Because of the iron and nickel, the outer core is the hot, so hot that is always a molten state. That is always in a molten state. So the inner core is even hotter. The inner core is even hotter, but it stay that the solid because of the pressure, because of the pressure which we going to looking for. So the inner core contains 1.7% of the Earth weight. So the inner core contains 1.7% of the Earth mass. The outer core, is having a 4500 to 6000 degrees Celsius temperature, which will a bigger one. You may not be access to the 100 degrees Celsius, 60 degrees Celsius. So what is this earthquake is there? 45 to 6000 degrees Celsius. The inner core contains 1.7% of the Earth mass. The outer core 30.8, and this upper mantle and this one is all are the Earth interior. So our knowledge of the Earth interior comes mainly from the studying this course. Uh, so the analysis of how earthquake waves are reflected and reflect even the after waves. Uh, so this is what you have an analysis of the data. You can have an analysis of the data. So this is now I have classify, or its classification is already given. Tetrahedra in a two different position. Tetrahedra in a two different position. So the name of such a the things are siderophile, Christophile, and all. So there are several trials to classify the element on a geochemical basis. Name of such a event are siderophile, chalcopyrite. Uh, so the chemical classification of element. So the chemical classification of element. So names such as siderophile, organic, and all these are we have to prepare this one. So name of a siderophile, a name of siderophile should be there. So the chemistry is affinity. Chemistry is affinity towards the man. So this is a water and the process of the geosmith. So this is a powder, and you can have a geomist. So you have three different boxes. One is having a silicate visor. Silicate is going to do. Then some friend is going to say that. First one is a atmophile. First one is a atmophile. So atmophile is a hydrogen, and all this one is comes under the atmophile. Then you have a lithophile. Then you have a lithophile after the atmophile. So lithophile is alkalis. Lithophiles are alkalis, which we so this one is a atmospheric hydrogen. It can get exerted. So then you have a lithophile. Then you have a lithophile. A lithophile is nothing but whatever the continent you can see, the upper continent of the Earth is known as the lithophile. Then you have a chalcophile. Then you have a chalcophile. So the chalcophile is nothing but the this chemical the liquid So you have not makes elements visible. So you have atmophile, you have atmophile, you have a lithophile, you have a chalcophile, you have a siderophile. So all these are the different category on, and your this minerals is also categorized according to this one, according to this one. So then you have a lithophile element. When you have then you have a lithophile element. Then you have element. Then you have element. What we can study, the element mainly consists of highly received metal of the S and T block. They also include the small number of recentive normalities. So siderophile elements are there. Then you have a chalcophile. Then you have a chalcophile. Then you have a atmophile. So this is a four different classes of the this one. So when you go to the any field, what kind of things you should avoid it, or you should learn about this one, about the how the so then you have this all type of uh, frequencies and all. Now you can see the chemical weathering. Now you can see the chemical weathering. What is the chemical weathering is all about? The chemical weathering is when you have a map, when you have a map after the this one. So so this is a picture which showing the a glacial export, a glacial export. Chemical weathering. Then you have a chemical weathering. So so the three type of followings are there. Three type of following are there. Sumit, the chemical weathering of breakdown as a result of chemical reaction. That is your chemical reaction. So this is a what your chemical weathering. Then you have chemical weathering plus chemical weathering, breakdown as a result, and chemical reaction. Then you have mechanical weathering. There is a much clash for this one. So so this is all about the different kind of elements we have. Now you have a pro. Then you have a electro negativity of the center, electricity of the center. So this is what exactly electricity is all about. This is a chemical environment. This is a chemical environment. So the chemical weathering is nothing but taking the rock from one place to another place. That is what weathering. So weathering is a process of which disintegration. Weathering is the process of which disintegration and degeneration of rock, mineral, or solid. So the weathering is a process of disintegration and degeneration, and you have organic activity also, plant material mix. So you can have seen the any of the plant material is composed by the different agencies and all. So this is what about the geochemical variation. Which process is mostly factor? Which process is mostly factor in a C chemical composition? So the climate of the place is the most important. The vegetation cover in which they are living, they are most important, and most important is the warm, moist climate. Warm, most effective in the areas where. Uh, so the this is what the the sample of the PPTs. So there is a different instrument which we use to measure those are where it is those are. So on the basis of all know that chemical is having a, so from the basis of DNA and this all we can come to know. It can also be seems to give an indication of the all always present in the organic and unpublished in the unclosed one. So it can be also uh, it can be also be used to give the introduction of the element present in the organic and unpolished this one. So so the electron probe micro analyzer, that is the EPMA on short form, it is called as the EPMA, is is your what sample, and you don't know about the sample, in which area they are belong to, and the other. So among the most useful application of EPMA, the one of the application is to study the subtle chemical zoning. So this is all what we are going to see. What we are now seeing this instrument which is used for the chemical analysis. It is nothing but the instrument which is coming from for the analysis. So XRF is a routine technique. XRF is a routine technique. What is the XRF is all about? What is the XRF is all about? XRF is a X-ray fluorescence. XRF is a X-ray fluorescence. That's how you can have XRF. X-ray fluorescence is a routine technique for determination of major element and many trace element in rock and mineral at a concentration from 1 or 2 ppm. 1 or 2 ppm. Sample are usually prepared as a glass disc. So whenever you find or whenever you prepare a sample, whenever you prepare a sample for this XRF, we should have very careful about the sample preparation. You should very clear about the sample preparation. So what kind of sample preparation you needed? You need a sample preparation which you have to remove the carbonate. First you have to remove the carbonate by giving a HCl and H2O2 treatment. HCl and H2O2 treatment. So why giving the this one? So whatever you have on the XRF analysis, whatever you have this XRF analysis or X-ray fluorescence spectroscopy, all this one is going to have a what we can say the study by the XRF. The sample are usually prepared. Sample are usually prepared as a glass disc for the major element analysis by fusing the sample, powder. So you need to go the to form of pellets. Now the question first comes. You may ask about why sir carbonate is not allowed in this one. Why the carbonate is not allowed in this one? So the carbonate is not allowed in this one because of what? Whatever the carbonate is mostly formed in a oceanic side and this all. Not only oceanic side, but when you require so this one is a so the sedimentary rock, whatever the sedimentary rock you prepared, so you need to you require to form one pellets about this one. Okay, so carbonate is mostly this means formed by the dissolution. So obviously by the dissolution, so it don't have any grain. That's why you also don't perform any grain size analysis for this one. So the sample with the sample surface is irradiated with the primary X-ray, producing secondary X-ray with the energies and wavelength characteristic of the element present. The X-ray fluorescence spectroscopy. So with the continuation of the element, with the continuation of the concentration of the element is determined by the comparing a energy or wavelength peaks. This all. This is all. This is all what we are study about the geochemistry. What kind of instrument we are use, and now the interpretation of so this is what we can have about the geochemistry. Okay, so geochemistry is all about the study of the different kind of mechanism, a different kind of mechanism, and what you need to do is about the to analyze the sample. What we need to do is to analyze sample After analysis of the sample, this data can be interpreted. Okay, this data can be interpreted for various applications. The extent of this problem is best limited at the time of analysis by taking the excess of the data can be taken by analyzing, taking necessary precaution, and through the discussion with experimental laboratory staff. They are, however, impossible to eliminate. They are, however, impossible to eliminate completely. An indication of the analytical uncertainty should therefore be reported with the data, ideally as a error bar on geochemical diagram. So can be estimated. Uncertainty can be estimated from the regular analysis of the reference material of known composition and from the analysis of two or more samples. To help in the interpretation, data are often imported into the graphing and statistical computer program. So this is what we interpret. This is what how we are interpret the geochemical data for the different what we can say for the different classes and so on. So the geochemistry, this all about this data, about the analytical data of the any rock, like whether it is sedimentary, whether it is a igneous, whether it is a metamorphic rock. So this is all fundamental about the geochemistry. Now about what we can say the sedimentology, we know that sedimentology is a part of the your what? Sedimentology is a part of this one. Sedimentology is a part of your paper called as a petrology. Okay, it's also a part of major branch petrology. So petrology is consist of three different branches. Like you have a igneous petrology, you have a sedimentary petrology, and you have a metamorphic petrology. So three different type of petrology are there, and this three petrology is having a three different processes. Three different petrology is having a three different processes. So this is how you can interpret the this sedimentology, geochemical data what we have seen. Now the sedimentological study, the sedimentary process, you know that how the sedimentary rock is formed. It takes from one place to the another place. It takes from one place to the another place. It get deposited, and one another you have a different type of rocks. You have. So they are formed as a layer. They form as a layer and follow some rule of order of superposition and all. And this all can be studied in a sedimentology. So you have one separate unit for sedimentology also. So sedimentary rock is basically classify on the basis of their grain size. The sedimentology is basically classified on the basis of their grain size, not the others. So so the whatever the study we are now about the study, whatever the study what we are going through, this one is a part of the sedimentology and geochemistry paper. This one is make helpful. This lecture is just giving you the brief fundamental idea about this one, that how the rocks and how this one all are going through. So thank you for listening this one. Hope you understand the concept of what the geochemistry is all about, how the geochemical data can be used for the different purpose, and what is the use of geochemistry and sedimentology also. So that's all for now. You can you can study and you can refer to the many books. You can have study the many books on the geochemistry. Okay, so some of the books are available for geochemistry. which is very helpful for your study. I am just going to suggest you some of the books. Uh, One is by the Huge Rolling Sun. So this one is one of the best book by the Huge Rolling Sun. You can have this book by the Rolling Sun using the geochemical data. So how can you can use this geochemical data by the Rolling Sun? Comes under the hand cover 14,000. For paperback it's 7,000 only. So you can have different kind of uh, books. You can study this one, and uh, uh, apart from this you have Bangar and this basic books of Parveen Singh and all. They are also giving some information, reliable information about the subject, that how we are going to study this one, and how how the study of this geochemistry can be take place. So this is what about all about the geochemistry and the concept of geochemistry. Thank you for listening this. You have 10 LMS, 10 question in your LMS. You can go and solve this question from your LMS. Thank you for listening this.